on this. So I hope everybody's having a great afternoon today, and welcome everybody to our Dockwalker Summer Social Lunch and learn from other Dockwalkers. I hope everybody is doing great. And we will start sometime soon. It's great to see all of you. Some of you who have been with us for a few years, some of you who are new to us for this year. So that's fantastic. Thank you for joining us. So before we get started, I would like to say thank you to all of you for your continued support and for all you do sharing clean and safe voting information with voters. And before we start, I also would like to introduce our one of our main colleagues in Southern California, actually the leaders in Southern California. So go ahead, please, Kendall, and introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. Happy Thursday. Thank you for joining us for a little lunch and learn. My name's Kendall Soriano. I work for the Bay Foundation. We partner with Vivian for all things Dockwalker here in Southern California. So a lot of times you'll see my name in voter kit emails, different requests for different events. So a lot of your names and faces are familiar. So it's wonderful to see you all, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Kendall. So we have put together this agenda, and we have invited a couple of active Dockwalkers to share with us today their tips and tricks for dog walking rather than us talking all the time. We want to make it super fun. Make sure you have your amazing and scrumptious lunch with you. That's the point, that we all have some sort of a sharing community time. So what we're going to do today will be to basically have a couple of goals in terms of today learning directly from other dog walkers about how the program is coming along for them. But in addition to that, to refresh your memory about a couple of things that we want in the program to be implemented by all of you. And then we're going to have some questions and then open up for a great conversation. So a couple of things: make sure that you have your camera on if possible. We would like to make sure that this is very conversational. I know some of you may have problems with your server, so if your system is pretty unstable, I totally get it. Thank you for joining us. Also, I'm going to keep everybody mute just to make sure that we don't create the background noise that sometimes Zoom creates. But of course, during the conversation and questions you may have, feel free to unmute yourself. In addition to that, when you need to ask questions, feel free to either unmute yourself or use the chat for that purpose. Or you can also use, if you want, some fun reactions from the Zoom system. All right, so before we get started, I would like to invite you to tell us a little bit about what you think in terms of what inspires you to be a dog walker. So let me do a couple of things here. I'm going to activate this here, and I'm going to ask you to please click the link that I'm including. Hold on for a sec. To click the link that I'm including in the actual chat. Bear with me for a sec, just to make sure that is working here. And once you do that, let's see here. Let me just say, okay, hold on for a sec, just to make sure that is, hold on for a sec. Let me just copy and paste this here for you. And once you do that, we will be able to see some of your responses. So let me just share the screen right now. And then let's make sure that you are ready to start responding. So this link is going to bring you to another page. Feel free to bypass your name and just start answering the questions that you may have. So I'm going to activate right now and do this as we all speak. All right. So, okay, responses are coming. So feel free to tell us what inspires you to be a dog walker. Kendall, is everything looking okay there?
Yes, yeah, it looks like users can start inputting the responses.
Yeah,
and it
we're
looks
getting
like
all these excellent responses. So, and thank you, like waters, ocean, educating, helping, nature, beautiful, preserve, interest, sharing. And I'm going just to give you a few more seconds. I see some of you, my friend Liz and Gail and James, all of you typing. So take your time so we can get more responses from all of you. Oh, thank you guys. You're fun. All right. So Kendall, give me some of the responses just to make sure that everybody's on board.
Yeah. So it looks like our biggest -- response is helping. We have, let's see, other big words are protect and preserve, waters, waterways, California, environment, nature, generations is a powerful one. Beautiful boaters.
Wow. Well, great responses. All right. So thank you for that kind of fun exercise. And thank you for participating in that great opportunity to share what you guys are doing. So who's here with us today? So rather than going around our beautiful community joining us today, I put together, based on your registration, this map that shows who's joining us from the different counties. So we have beautiful representation from Southern California coast. And we also have our beautiful Bay Area, Fresno, Humboldt, among some of the participants today. And in terms of your background, as you remember, Dockwalkers are partners from many different backgrounds. You're coming, or you are in the world of marina, yacht club operators, or also staff. We also have conservation corps members, boaters, general public, our group of Coast Guard Auxiliary, also local government participation. We also have the California Stewardship Product Council. We also have San Diego Maritime Museum. So as you can see, it's a very good representation today of all of you who belong to our community. So we're going to be learning today from other active dog walkers about, hey, what has been working for them? Like what kind of tips and tricks have worked for them? And also to talk to you about other relevant refreshers as part of this program. But just to make you excited, I wanted to share with all of you today how our map is looking in terms of the questionnaires that I have with Kendall received so far in terms of boaters who have learned about clean boating information from you or our staff across the state. So this map is getting quickly populated. Thank you, the work that you have been doing throughout the summer or since you were trained conducting face-to-face education, but also collecting the questionnaire with education. So far, we have received approximately 950 questionnaires back. I know summer is still in the amazing mood. And remember, we all have until October 31st this year, so you guys can send me your completed questionnaires. All right, so Vivian, stop talking. I want to introduce you to some of the active dog walkers that we invited today to join us. I think one of them hasn't joined us yet, who is our first speaker. She's in the Contra Costa County, Delta region, a boater. So I'm going to skip and invite our second the second two participants that we wanted to hear from them, Gary Simon and Leah Simon. And what I did was I told them to please join us and tell us, for example, what successful strategy has worked for them to conduct face-to-face education, what catchy phrases, some tips, or other lessons they want to share with us today. So Gary and Leah, feel free to unmute yourself and welcome, and you know, the community is yours right now. And I see you join us, and Kendall, can you identify if they are there, right? Because I saw them joining before. Yeah, Gary, feel free to unmute yourself. I see you, Gary. No worries. We cannot hear you. Let me see. All right.
There.
Fantastic, Gary. Welcome.
Fantastic.
Happy Thursday.
It's a good Thursday. This was a challenge getting on today. It kept kicking me out.
Oh, no.
But I'm here now. My name's...
Okay, Gary. So welcome, and tell us a little bit. You know, you have a bunch of people. We're 30 today here with you. Tell us about what has been working, thinking about that all this community of dog walkers come, as you probably heard me saying before, from different backgrounds. What has worked for you? What catchy phrases, anything that you want to share with this great community would be great.
Okay. My name's Gary Simons. My wife's also a dog walker. She's not with me today, but on 4th of July, we did our first big event. Normally it's just one-on-one with people down at Dana Point, walking the harbor there, talking to them. The event on 4th of July at the Newport Beach Yacht Club, within a 4-hour period, we had approximately 800 to 1,000 visitors. So on that day, we took 4 boxes of boaters kits with us in the surveys. But we knew from past experience, if we gave somebody a boater's kit, we wouldn't get the survey back. So we had a table set up. So we kept the boater's kits out of reach. When they came walking in, we said, "Hey, we've got a few free boater's kits left. Would you like one?" So they say, "What's in it?" We had one we could show them for an example, and then said, "Yeah, I'd like that." Well, before you can have it, we have to have you fill out the survey. It asked the answers, what some of the answers were. After we talked about the material, we said, "Well, we want you to do the best you can. We're not going to give out any answers here. We don't grade them here. They go to the state." So each time we got a survey back, then we gave out a boater's kit. But we thought we wouldn't have enough, but giving away 4 boxes, 72 in 4 hours, was about 1 every 3 minutes, was a challenge. But it was fun. Everybody enjoyed them, and came back later, and we could even explain stuff even more, what was in the kit and what the benefits of it.
Fantastic, Gary. And any kind of methodology that you have developed that or a tip that would recommend that would be useful for other partner dog walkers?
Well, if we go down, this was a big event. If we go down to Dana Point and we talk to the individual ones, we just walk up and say, "Hey, could we talk to you for a minute? We'd like to give you some advice on free boating safety and keeping our waters clean. And if you fill out a small survey, we've got a boater's kit for you." And they'll either say, "No, I'm busy today," or finally we find somebody that's interested, and we sit down. Those are longer chats, and we go through all the information. We go through everything that's in the boater's kit. Plus the fact, one of the takeaways from that, when I was at the Newport Beach Yacht Club, was the fact that everybody there this year is going to need a boater's card. And they need to study a book. And in the past, these boater's kits had little books in them. This time it had a large book, which was nicer for studying. So that's what we kind of gave as the tag when people came in. "Have you got your California boater's card yet?" They'd say no. We said, "We've got the book in here. You need to study."
That's fantastic, Gary, and thank you for mentioning, you know, that material and really connected or connecting the information, the questionnaire, and the boater kit to the local resources, correct? That's extremely important. And how has been the reaction from your fellow boaters when you talk to them?
They're happy that the state provides this. Some of them that had been boating a long time had limited information, and we actually talked to our yacht club and the boaters that are down there. Since it's electric, they don't need a California boater's card, but we made it mandatory that even though it's electric, we're not going to let anybody use our Duffies, our electric Duffies, unless they do have the card. So these boater kits came in handy, and it's something they can take with them too if they have a problem and they're out of the water.
Fantastic. That's so fantastic. And anything else that, and thank you, Paul, if don't worry, we understand some of you have problems with your internet, so you prefer to keep it the video off. Anything else, Gary, that you think is a good recommendation for other boaters to, or dock walkers to share with the boaters?
Just have fun, go through the information, have your bullet points that you want to talk about, and then have them fill out a survey. Once they complete that, then hand them the kit. I'm not on the video right now?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay. I thought
looking good. That's very good. Kendall, any other question that you think we should ask Gary based on what he explained, so the other partner dock walkers learn a little bit more from Gary?
Yeah, Gary, it's amazing to hear how many boaters you really interacted with over that 4th of July weekend. I know that weekend is really the biggest boating weekend of the year. So it's amazing that you're able to distribute out that many boater kits. I think a good question to cover would be, what item do you think boaters are most interested in receiving from the boater kit? I think a lot of boaters have different responses. Some are more interested in the tide calendars, some are more interested in when nature calls. So it's always interesting to hear, which items people are drawn to. That way dock walkers can really highlight those and kind of their pitch, selling these free resources to people. So what item do you think gets the most interest from folks?
Well, if I was the American Legion Yacht Club, it was definitely the California Boaters book. But when I'm walking Dana Point, what people are interested in is the absorbent pad that will absorb gas or oil out of the water. A lot of them haven't seen those before, and they find that interesting and as a nice thing to have if they see a minor spill.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Gary, because it's great. And just for the rest of our participants today, if you have a question for Gary that you probably want to ask right now or later on when we finish hearing about other partner dock walkers, because I don't want to call your name, but I see a lot of you already sending me great feedback and also questioners that I want probably to invite you to speak. But if you feel like, Vivian, I'm so shy, I don't want to speak to others, that's totally fine. Gary, please don't leave us. Of course, we want, if you come up with another idea, please let us know. So this is a great example of partner dock walkers who's actually a boater and has been able to spread the word out, do what we call the peer pressure by inviting his fellow boaters to continue to be good stewards of the environment, because we all know that boaters are good stewards. They just need to know where to do things right and how to properly do things right. So thank you, Gary, and please say hi to Leah, and we're going to move into another partner dock walker. So we're going to move to a little bit south to San Diego County, and I'm going to invite the marina manager from Half Moon Marina, Lani Lococo, and she's going to explain to us from her point of view, considering that we have a bunch of partner dock walkers who are marine operators, how the program is working. So Lani, please feel free to unmute yourself and let us know how the program is working for you. Let's see if she's having some issues.
I think she said she doesn't have audio.
Can you? She just joined again. Thank you. Yeah. Lani, can you hear us?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, and can see you. Yeah. Fantastic.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. I'm sorry it took me a moment to get here. my name is Lonnie. I'm the marina manager at Humphreys Half Moon Marina here in San Diego. It is a small marina. We only have about 180 boats, most of which are sailboats. Interestingly enough, many of the sailboaters don't think they need the spill kits. That's one of the things I hear over and over again is, oh, I'm a sailor, I sailboat, I don't need the spill kit. And I've encouraged them to go ahead and take them anyway, because maybe your neighbor may need a spill kit someday. Overall, it's been well accepted. Again, we have a small marina. I've been able to hand out about 30 or 35 of the kits. Overall, people are very excited about the kits. I explained to them it's about $35 of product in there, and that it's all great to have on your boat. And even if you don't need it or you don't think you need it, maybe your neighbor or somebody else will.
Fantastic. And you mentioned something that is very important, Lani, from a marina manager point of view, in my opinion, not being one. The fact that, yes, we have a lot of sailors without an auxiliary engine that will totally respond like, hey, I don't need the spill kit. But what is important is to remember for all of us that the actual boater kit also has other information totally pertaining to any type of boater, right? Like the sewage information, the marine debris information, also the marine flare discount coupon, the tide calendars for my friends down in Southern California, or the tide books for here in Northern California. So the entire packet probably has some items that are not specifically for cells without an auxiliary engine, but also what Lani said specifically. Sometimes sailors who don't have an auxiliary engine on board may see one of their fellow boaters experiencing a spill, and it's always good to carry as a prevention side to not only help you, but the community to have some of these spill prevention items in place. So that's fantastic. And Lani, do you think that you feel more like people tend to listen to you more because you're a marine operator? And as we learn in the training, marine operators are one of the most common sources of information for boaters. So do you think that you have that way to capture their attention because you are the boss at the local level, right?
Yes, I guess so. But yes, they do. I believe that many of the boaters respect the office. And when I do forward them emails, whether it's from you or from Boat US, I have many people that thank me for information they never would have had access to. And I think the whole spill kit program is one of those items that they would not normally have had access to it or not known that it was available to them. So they do thank me whenever I put something like that to them. So yes.
Fantastic. That's awesome. And we have a bunch of your colleagues from all over the state. Lani here joining you today from, like, we have my friend Alicia Cons joining us from Marina del Rey, and we have a couple of other marine operators. So it's exciting. That's why we try to pick and choose a variety of backgrounds for people to talk. And I'm assuming people do learn from the questionnaire, right? Because it's a great way to connect them to some of the information that we have in the boater kit. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. Many people are very ignorant, shall we say, a lot of the items that are on the questionnaire, and they're almost embarrassed, especially if they've been a boater for 30, 35 years. They're embarrassed that they don't know. But I said, well, don't be embarrassed. This is how you learn. And I said, it's important for you to know these things, and then you can share them with other boaters. You know, for example, the very first question that has a symbol, most boaters do not know what that means. The black drop symbol, they don't know what that means. And they're embarrassed, but that's okay. That's how we learn.
Exactly. And any final thoughts before we invite somebody else to share their experience?
I just want to thank you for putting this program together. And these kits are really great. People do like them, do want them, have even asked, can I have 2? So I think it's a great program, and I believe that it's very valuable for these boaters to understand how important it is. Let's just not get anything in the water.
That's awesome. And it also supports your clean marina effort, right? You guys want to operate your facility, making sure that everybody has in place pollution prevention tools. So we appreciate, Lani, being part of this effort. We have been partnering with your previous you for previous years. So we know your marina has been on board with this program for many years. So thank you so much. Let's move on. Don't leave us. Keep enjoying your lunch here with us, Lani, please. Whenever you need to, please just have the time to leave if you have to. And now we're going to switch gears and also invite up from here, Northern California, in our beautiful Marin County, because we have so many beautiful counties. One of our members from one of the Coast Guard Auxiliary organization, they have been partnering with us from the year 2000. And I want to invite Rebecca O'Brien to please, if you can, and if your system allows you to turn on your camera, and and if not, just start talking, please, Rebecca.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Finally, I got the mic situation straightened out. Still don't have the camera, but thanks very much for inviting me. I'm really happy to be able to participate. And I've really enjoyed having the resources for the Dock Walker. It's helped me engage with people that I might not otherwise do. One of the really successful ways for me has been in terms of the giving away the kits is New Melones is a really large reservoir, and it doesn't get a lot of attention from other auxiliaries or anything because it's kind of remote from most of the bigger auxiliary units. So they do have a program there where they're screening for the quagga mussels and other invasive species with dogs. And so I set up next to the station that they have to stop at because it's mandatory to get inspected, or at least, and if they've been inspected already, they just show the card and go on. But it gives me a chance to talk to people who are stopped there while the dog's doing the inspection. And it's been real successful for me. I haven't been able to do it much this year because the rain didn't cooperate, and then it got so hot, and I've had other activities going on, but I want to try and change that in August because it's slowed down with other things, because it's really successful. It gives me a chance to talk to people. And a lot of people, haven't gotten the opportunity to get the Dock Walker kit before. People really do seem to like the oil spill pillow, and also the little bib that goes around for filling the gas, because that helps to keep from, getting gas on the boat. And so that's probably the most popular part. They do appreciate getting the materials, informational materials as well. The other thing I found helpful is trying to partner with other agencies that are having some kind of event. And we had an event over Memorial Weekend where we partnered up with the Sheriff's Department, was doing a big safety day because everyone has really seen the drownings increase because of a lot of water, and it's very cold, and people aren't prepared for it, even though there's been a lot of attention paid to it. So they really wanted to do a life jacket event. So we participated in that and had the Dock Walker kits. So anytime you can partner up, we do Kids Safety Day. There's one at Lake Millerton that our South County folks always do, and we always do one in San Joaquin County. So if you can partner up with safety days, we used to participate with one. They haven't been doing it recently, where, like, if somebody's trying to do recruiting, the law enforcement officers, if they do a safety day on the college campus or recruiting, that can be helpful too. So I really look for all the opportunities I can.
Thank you. And And you and your other members from the Coast Guard Auxiliary, we have several of them, Rebecca, joining us today from many parts of the state. It has been a fantastic opportunity to expand your safety mission and really supporting the other component of the environmental component of the active Coast Guard, right, which is part of your mission. So always partnering with the Coast Guard Auxiliary has been such a nice combination, because we are capable of combining your skills of being the boating safety experts with the environmental component and really providing to boaters a comprehensive approach to boating. So, and you touch on a couple of important things. That is, yes, you guys are exposed to the community in so many ways that partnering with other local events and local organizations is fantastic. And we have a question from Arnold Gelb. Feel free, Arnold, to unmute yourself and let us know what your question is.
Thank you. At a recent boat show, in addition to the green boater kits, there was something which I had not seen before that was also available, namely the Y valve kit that, as I recall, contained like instructions, a zip tie, a dye tablet, and packet of deodorizer. And I took one as a sample, and there's been a lot of actual interest in that, as well as the green boater kit. So I wanted to find out, are those going to be also orderable and available, so that if, you know, for example, if we're doing a vessel safety check and someone's Y valve isn't zip tied or the handle taken off, we can give them one of those kits as well as a green boater kit.
Yeah, thank you, Arnold. So that's great. So you're talking about one of our Clean Vessel Act grantees. So the equivalent of our colleague Kendall Soriano with the Bay Foundation, we have another organization up here who's with that is the San Francisco Estuary Partnership, and they have a bunch of those kits that we offer on a limited basis because it depends on the resources they have available. But if you continue to have interest in some of them, you can contact me and I'll be happy to hook you up with some of those kits. They are being offered like at a specific events, again, because they operate on a grant-based funding. So, for example, they would say, oh, this year we only have to throw some numbers there, 100 of these Y valve kits. But if you feel that you will benefit from them, you will let us know and I'll be happy to assist you with those, okay? So we had invited somebody else to talk, but it seems that Bethy with Contra Costa had issues joining us today. And I want to probably, before we continue with other refreshers, to stop here and have the opportunity for all of us to see each other and see if some of you, again, I don't want to throw you under the bus, to talk to us about your experience, something that you have done that has worked, that others can join. I see your beautiful faces and I'm so tempted to call some of the names, but I know you will say, Vivian, why did you do that? So I don't want to do that. And I want to say hi to everybody, but I also want to invite you to speak up and say, hey, here in my world, this is what has worked. Don't ask me to call you because I'm so tempted. Ron, please go ahead and tell the other ones you're joining us from where, because I don't want to say it, but
Los Angeles.
Yes, Los Angeles.
And Coast Guard Auxiliary, I'm a vessel examiner. So there's two things that I was going to mention, especially to my colleagues in the auxiliary. The first is that I like to bring my my Dockwalker kits with me when I do vessel exams. So one way that I get people to fill out the questionnaire is the vessel exam is a one-page questionnaire that we go through to see if they have all the right safety equipment. We ask them to sign it, and so forth. And then I just go right on as if this is like part of the process and have them do the dock walker one as well. And nobody ever turns me down because I've already handed them a pen and they're filling out stuff. So they just keep going on. The second thing is I scanned the coupon for that, the flare, the electronic flare, which we recommend at this point. And what I do is since I have their email address on the questionnaire, I email them a copy of that coupon, because that allows me to keep in contact with these people, and then they answer back, and then we stay in touch, and then we, etc. So it's a good way to continue the personal touch.
Excellent. That's a great recommendation within your community, and it's a perfect partnership with the vessel examiners, because we really kind of fulfill some of these checklists that you have right there. So that's a great recommendation. And I see other from different backgrounds. So anybody else who wants to share, hey, Vivian, this and Kendall and the rest of the team, this is what has been working for us. I know some of you have been super active out there this summer, despite all this crazy temperature. Anything that you want to share, keywords, anything. Yeah, Jim, go ahead, please.
Well, I've worked a lot of boat shows in the last 15 years, and with Vivian at her tables. And I like working with people. I like to people watch. I like to talk to people. So what I found that works well with me is I stand in front of the table or out where people are walking by, and I just, for some reason, when I look at people, I know whether they're going to be offended by this or not. So I tell them, excuse me, I have a gift for you. And I take them over to the table. And almost every time I try that, it works. I also do the vessel safety checks. I've done 1,000 of them, and I've given away a lot of Dockwalker kits with those vessel safety checks. And in addition, for the last 12 years, I've had a table at West Marine every month. And I have my Dockwalking kits with me and the little sign that I made up that says free boater kits. Some Saturdays, nobody wants one and nobody stops by to ask about it. Most of the time, someone will say, oh, what's a free boating kit? And I show that to them and we go on from there. So I use a lot of my activities to do the dockwalking. I've retired from the Coast Guard Auxiliary 2 months ago, but I'm not retiring from dockwalking. I still going to have a table at West Marine whenever I want to come there and just give away boaters kits. The manager and I have become really good friends, and he said, just come on anytime. We'll set you up inside or outside. Inside because it's so hot here. But when it's not too hot, I can put a little table. Vivian and I have done that before together, had a little table right outside the door. And that's very successful. You get it before they even walk in the store. So I've really enjoyed the last 14 years working with Vivian. I'm going to still work with her if she'll have me, but I'll have to give me some more kits. Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. Great recommendations, because you just brought up another location, marine supply stores. And as you remember during the training, we talk about the Dockwalker term being a little bit deceiving, because it's not necessarily the fact that you have to walk a marina. Sometimes, as my friend, the marine operators are here, like we have Scott and Alicia, and of course, Vita, who just joined us, and Lonnie, etc. Sometimes you walk and it's like nobody's there, right? Like it's just like they come and go, but there are many locations where boaters are found. And I thought, John, welcome, John, you were going to talk? Great.
Am I going to talk?
Yes. Do you want to talk? I see you're just smiling, and please tell us where you're joining us from.
Well, I've been a little busy with grandchildren because they're all out of school, and we have to fill in the gaps between mom and dad's working and stuff. But it's been fun. And then I've been down to Lonnie's dock, and I was there sailing one day, and 2 Coast Guard active Coast Guardsmen were down there walking the dock, and I went up. I said, "I'm a dock walker. Tell me what you're doing." And they were looking for some kind of spill. I don't know what, but I said, "Well, nice to meet you. And if we can help, let me know." And it's really fun. but I really enjoy the dialogue here, and it's neat. I think everybody loves the absorbance. I think they like that little fuel capture around the hose is really pretty popular. And I'm going to be doing a little traveling, but August is going to be my month to really attack a lot. I've contacted, one of the things on marina managers, I've contacted about 3 or 4 other ones around the area, and they've either had the kits before or something. Is there a list of active people or something? Because I kind of said, well, okay, you don't need me, so that's all right. I'll go somewhere else. But
sure, we can provide you with that list to support you. Sometimes it's fun because the fact that at the marina, sometimes you have a staff who are dog walkers. Sometimes they are not that active, so you can take advantage of that and just go to the fuel dock or the sewage pump out or the boat launch ramps or local events, which are a perfect opportunity for you. So thank you, John, for supporting Lani. I know you met at the San Diego Dog Walker training, so it's fantastic. And sorry we're taking time away from your grandchildren, but you're doing a great cause.
Oh no, that's fine, and I really enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to really being active this month, and we'll get things going, and maybe I have to order more later.
Perfect. And Kendall, who is your main point of contact in Southern California, the leaders there will be super excited to support you. Couple of things. You have been mentioning how important in the absorbance and some of the components are. Thank you, Alicia. She's in beautiful Marina del Rey, always super active. She's always excited to have dog walkers there. So all of my friends who are in LA County, you see, she's saying, come. I wanted to mention during the training, and sometimes when we send you some refresher information, etc., we do research based on the feedback that we receive from boaters in terms of every single item included in the boater kit, which Kendall and I will be sharing with you later on. So I wanted just to mention that to you. But I want to see if somebody else wants to share any experience or savvy, words that you have used. And if not, or while you think about this, I want just to go back really quickly and share other information considering the time, but we can continue with this, conversation. Some what we call the quick bite-sized dog walker program refreshers that we wanted to mention to you include the fact that remember that we have in the training handouts that you find in the link that I just posted there, the locations for you to help us. Oh, one of the photos got upside down. My friend who provided me with this photo, I apologize for that. And I see my friend Liz Moses, beautiful Liz. Sorry you see, like the photo got moved. She has been working really, really hard up in Lake County. Hopefully, if she feels, she can share with us a little bit of her experience up in that beautiful county. So remember, anywhere, marine supply stores, actual marinas, fuel docks, some of you are Yacht Club members, presentations there, actual events, etc., are perfect opportunities for you to implement the program. And also remember that the questionnaire plays such an important role because it helps us to do some science. We're collecting data that help us to better orient our education and outreach efforts. Remember the reports that I just mentioned to you. In the back of the survey, as you remember, we encourage the boater to provide us with their contact information because what we do is to then contact them and ask them for feedback for every single item that we include in the boater kit so we can continue to improve the boater kit based on real feedback we're receiving from boaters. So we do a lot of stuff with that information. Also, the boater kit, a questionnaire, help us to identify where boaters live who have received information from you guys. That's the beautiful map that I just showed you at the beginning of our virtual event. it helps us to keep track of your efforts. So for example, if I send to Scott 18 boulder kits, I'm expecting Scott, as part of our partnership, to send me back the questionnaire. So that's another way for us to keep this cycle going. And it also prompts, as you remember, the face-to-face education with the boulder, because we as environmental educators are giving them immediate feedback about the responses, but most importantly, we are connecting the boater with the local resources. We're telling them, hey, you have absorbents, this is how you use them, this is where in our local level we are properly disposing of them. The same with the sewage pump out stations or floating restrooms or dump station, or also the fuel bin. And remember, even if the boater doesn't want to give us their contact information, that person still has the opportunity to receive our boater kit and education. You're trying just to push it harder because we want them to see that we have an incentive. We randomly select at the end of the year some winners for our life jackets. We have 2 of those, but also it's because we want to hear from the boater directly. Remember to always connect the boater questionnaire with the items in the boater kit so we can connect the entire cycle of education. Please do not double mark or edit the questionnaire in terms of the responses. So some of you who are fantastic, you take your job super seriously and you become like a real teacher there. And you start with the check marks and circling and crossing. But if you do that sometime when Vivian and Kendall receive the questionnaires, I'm thinking, oh my God, what was the actual response from the boater? So please don't double mark your questionnaires. And also the importance of connecting the boater to the local resources. We are going to send you later on the reminders for you to remember that we all have to send back the completed questionnaires back to us by October 30th. Some of you have been doing that already. You can scan them or take a picture front and back and email them to me, even though it's one at a time, or you can collect all of them and scan them and send them to us, or fax them or mail them, whatever you prefer. But we have a deadline because, as you remember, we have a contest and we also need to process the collected data. We also want to remind you that we have additional resources to all of you, so you can use them, including our banner, which is fantastic for events that you may have. Also, depending on where you are, a personalized flyer in case you want to, promote who you are in your local community. We also have PowerPoints. And also, we want to remind you that our partnership is valid for 3 years. What do you mean by that, Vivian and Kendall? The fact that next year, probably you don't need to take any training if you don't want to, or you can take them, but you can continue to order boater kits for the next following 3 years without being trained again, because that's what we feel that is good. So remember that you can continue to order more boater kits as we go. Some of you, because life happens, sometimes you order 18 and, a family issue, a personal issue, whatever, doesn't allow you to distribute the entire set of boater kits. You will let us know at the beginning of the year, next year, hey, Vivian, Kendall, I still have 4 or 5 boater kits. Can you please send me the updated material, time-sensitive materials, the questionnaire, the tide books or calendars, and the Marine Fair coupon, so we can help you to reutilize those resources. I want to take a time right now to unfortunately honor a dog walker who unfortunately passed away back on April 28th this year. He served the community in many, many ways. His name we will call him Chuck Ormson. He was in the naval career for 35 years, and then he became the general manager for Ventura, West Marina, for 17 years. He joined our program for over 10 years, and he was part of the Dockwalker Hall of Fame in 2019. So we wanted to take this opportunity to say thanks to Chuck and to honor him in front of all of you. We're going to miss him, and Kendall and our agencies are sending great care to his loved ones and the entire Ventura West community, because he was a superb marine operator. So yeah, you know, we are a community, and it's kind of sad that he left us, but let's stop sharing here the screen, and we have 10 more minutes, and I want to hear from all of you. Like, tell us a little bit more about
well, I'll say a quick hello.
Oh, Vivian. Scott, and then Liz. How are you doing, Scott?
Well, doing good. And it's been a wonderful association all the years. I think the first, you guys were formed in '99, I think, an offshoot of SOS. And I think that the first training in SoCal was either San Diego Yacht Club or at the center there at the Boy Scouts in Newport. I think it was San Diego Yacht Club, maybe. But still have the original hat, very proud.
Aww.
And so anyway, we get so much benefit from the Coast Guard Auxiliary, and it used to be almost dueling. We had a couple people very active in the Power Squadron, but the Coast Guard Auxiliary, I think, just ran them out of town, because it's all Coast Guard Auxiliary. And we've got John Ross in our area is very active. We lost, I call him the Supreme Ultimate Commander, Kopinski. Bill Kopinski was very active here too. So he's in Florida now with his grandchildren and doing fine. Oh. But I think the major connection, and we try to get together with all our tenants getting certified, and we're requiring it that they get checked out with the Coast Guard Auxiliary and get the sticker and get the boater kit for dock walking, and get everything, even if they're long time boaters, and then they can pass some of the stuff off to other people if they wish. But just the association with you guys has just been fantastic, and all these different offshoots with the fishing line collection we're getting back with our 2 areas. I still haven't convinced the one fuel dock in the harbor that it's really a benefit, but they seem to save it when people come in there and say, hey, if you got any extra line, don't throw it away. We know a crazy guy that'll take it all. So anyway, but it's sure been good. Good long run. Thank
you, Scott. And Scott, remind the rest of the partners here, you're joining us from where, and you're the marine operator from where?
Well, joining you from Surf City, USA, Huntington Beach, California. There's some dispute from Santa Cruz. They think, and I think they have a good legitimate Surf City North, but Huntington was the first to copyright the name, which is important sometimes. But we run Peters Landing Marina. My wife Joni and I took over in 1996. So I think the first year, if somebody said, you're going to be here 27 years, I would have run away screaming, but it's been a great run, and we're still here. They've tried to get rid of us, but we're lawyered up very well. So
hold on tight. You guys do always a great job, and you're super supportive. Thank you, Scott, and please say hi to all your staff and your amazing wife. And I see, Liz, you had your hand on, and I see one of our speakers just joined us. So Bethy, we'll let you talk in a couple of seconds. Let me go first with Liz. Liz, you're brave. Come on.
Oh my God. Hi, everybody. I'm not gonna ditto what everybody else said, but what Rebecca O'Brien said is a lot of what I do. I'm calling from Lake County, so most of you may know the word Clear Lake. So that's where I am. We have a lot of different tournaments that we often have. So I bounce around to the different piers or ramps, whatever you want to call it. And the way I set my stuff up is I'll have my canopy, and I have a backflash on there, and I'll put on my backflash different things like that. Sewage, you're right. A lot of people don't know that. And then we don't really have pump outs here. So it's really good for the book, because what I'll do is, no, I won't tell nobody no answers, but after they finish, I'll go over the questionnaire with them, and then they'll be amazed to find out that when I was talking, they weren't listening, but it's good to hear and see and know that I can point out things that they missed. Another good thing is that I've had it where it's now on Facebook, where we have a gentleman here who does a lot of Lake County stuff. So because I sit with the quagga mussel monitor, we team up. And so we have a video of the dock walker, myself being out and showing everything, and they're loving it. And so we're also gonna, I'm gonna have a write-up in our newspaper, because living on the lake, we always wanna know what's going on. So I'm not gonna hold up any time. I'm gonna let the next person speak. And that's pretty much, I would say, it.
Perfect. And you were able to join us. She's juggling many things, taking classes. So Liz, we thank you so much for what you're doing, because I know Lake County and Clear Lake boaters love to talk to all of you. So thank you for combining that effort with the actual resources for invasive prevention. Thank you so much.
So one thing I will add is Angela, she had, I guess, before I came on board, there were a lot of kits that you sent her. Mm-hmm. And so instead of me getting kits from Vivian, I asked for the new updates and fill in those. So that's pretty much how I'm doing it, to get rid of the kits that we already have and just put new stuff in there. And they really admire the fact that they're all being paid and I'm just a volunteer out there. So that's what makes it a lot more lovable.
Yeah, and thank you, because you guys partner Dockwalkers, rock the boat. Yeah. So let's transition to, considering the time, to Bethy. So again, Bethy was having some technical issues. She just joined us. She's joining us from beautiful country, Costa County. Bethy, welcome.
Hi. Sorry I was late. I had, I don't know, internet things, but the I was not able to get the kits over to the boats and berries, because I had it was so hot. It was 100 and something 10, and I got sick for the heat. So I didn't know. This is a kind of, I'm getting older, and so kind of a new thing that I would have that. And so it didn't happen, but I am working to get to some of the gas docks, like she was talking about, and I'm thinking about, well, how to set that up. And then would I be, just schlepping the stuff, or would I have my car? And then I thought to put the banner up on the back. I have a hatchback, and put that at the top of the hatchback where it could be seen very easily, and which would be easy for the wind on the Delta. It'll pick up in the afternoon or even the morning, and it'll just be a squall, basically. And so anything would be challenged. So it has to be tied down really well. That's kind of always a concern. And then, having the boxes organized, and then I have another bag organized, so I could just carry that, and it has enough. And then I can go back and get more if I need to do it that way. But I'm going to try to set it up so I could just go out of the back of my the hatchback, and that I don't have to shift anything around.
Excellent.
But I don't know if they're going to really let that happen, but I'm going to work towards that and try to do some places out in along the Delta where a lot of people launch the boats. There's a couple of marinas where it's every 10 minutes. They're launching a boat, and another 5 minutes, there's a boat coming out. So the gas dock is huge, very busy. And then other places there, I might be able to have people take the time And that's you know, some way to make that easier, that education part easier for them to absorb. So I'm looking for ways to make like a poster with all that information there, and then so they could read it, you know, and then I could talk to other people and multiple. And then I was thinking maybe even a little video screen, you know, with the iPad, but there isn't any videos. So that would be a new thing. Fantastic. But that would be, yeah, that would be another way to help educate people, you know, when there's 3 or 4 people. And so, because they're coming up at different times. Mm-hmm. And then some way to be able to reach them if I'm by myself or if there's another person. Even then, it would be, you know, the people tend to come in bunches.
Yeah, different times. So yeah. That's a great recommendation, you know, like knowing the flow. Another great location you mentioned, the boat launch ramp, which is great that some of you have mentioned. And checking time is 1:01. I don't, was like an hour lunch from people. So Alice is saying, do we approach jet ski operators? Totally. They are considered into a world of boaters. And I know some of you have to leave. So if you need to leave, feel free to do that. Yes, every recreational boater is our target audience. And remember the resources we have for you. Kendall and I, by just ourselves, can be a resource for you. If you have any questions or any recurrent question that people ask you that you don't know, that you're like, oh my God, how am I supposed to respond this? Let us know. We're always here to help you. And just a matter of time is 1:02. I want just to make sure that if you have any questions that you want to ask us right now, or any final thoughts for Kendall and myself, or the rest of the community, because that was like to have a fun lunch experience with you. We're here to support you. And we will be making sure that when you receive the reminders about the deadline, you also remember that it's not that the end of the Dockwalker season is October 30th, it's because we need to start collecting data, but you can continue to do more stuff and send us later on more questionnaires, is because we need to wrap up the data entry, analysis, among others. Kendall, anything else you wanted to highlight before we let people leave?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, thank you, a big thank you for joining us today, and also just for your all amazing Dockwalker efforts. It's really you all that are, you know, keeping this program afloat, keeping our waterways free of pollution, and really harboring that recreational boating community. So just big round of applause to all of you, and thank you. And Vivian and I will be here for any questions.
Yes, thank you, Kendall. And Mike, I just saw your direct message. Please send me an email so it's easy for me to take your order immediately from there. It's great to see you. Any final thoughts from anybody before we let you go? Liz, of course, go ahead.
I have a quick question. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but how do we go by getting a handbook that we can maybe help the boaters with that boater's card or that?
So one of the resources for the boater card is the ABCs of boating law. Right. But the actual course, that there's a free online course that we have, is available online. Okay. So if you want, shoot me an email and I can send you directly to the website so you see it right there. But, you know, since people learn different ways, we not only have the online free course, but for example, my friends with the Coast Guard Auxiliary, they offer in-person classes, or there are other approved National Association Boating Law Enforcement courses that are approved, NASBLA approved by the state. So I can send you all that information. Okay, thank you. I'll make myself a note here just to send you that information too. Okay, thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead, John.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you all. I hope you did have time to eat. I didn't see a lot of you eating, so I hope you had your lunch before you're ready to have it. Remember, we're here to assist you. Thank you. Okay, very good. I see some of you eating, so that's good. Great to see your faces. Thank you for all you do. Deborah, any questions?
Am I unmuted?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay. I want to ask, I don't know what to do. I haven't had a lot of experience yet with the dock walking, but the few experiences I had, I went to the Venetia marina recently and talked to the harbor master, and he was just very, very unfriendly, not interested in talking to me at all. Was I approaching the wrong person? Should I just go to the boaters and forget the harbor masters?
Well, you know, couple of things during the training we cover, and thank you for bringing that up to our attention. Before you start dock walking actually at the marina, it's always good just to get, you know, like approval from them, right? Because they have so much in their plates that we want to make sure that they allow us to be there. We haven't had any problem for that 22 plus years. Scott even mentioned the number. Let's not even go there. But just go and tell the marine operator who you are, who you represent, the fact that you're just there to support their clean boating effort. And if you can just set up a table or just walk around to pass some of that information, just a little bit of extra explanation about that. Or if you find another venue where it's easier rather than being at the marina, talking to the marina, to the boaters, that's totally fine. Another step that we can do is if you want me to talk to the marine operator while you are there, I'll be happy to do that too. But a lot of the marine operators are super supportive of this effort because you see Alicia when she was here say, please come to my marina. That's what they want. So Deborah, feel free to let me know.
Okay, well, okay. Maybe he was having a bad day, and I also didn't use the right words. So yes,
no worry. Anything you need, we're here to support your keywords.
Okay.
I think it's 1:10. You guys were super excited to be here, and we appreciate your time, all your efforts. Remember, we're here as a resource for you. Any questions you may have or any extra help you need, please let us know. You have our emails, phone numbers, and we hope you have a fantastic Thursday afternoon. Great to see all your beautiful faces. And again, thank you for all you do, and have a fantastic afternoon.
Thank you, Vivian and Kendall from San Diego.
Thank you, Andy.
So much.
Great seeing you.
Thank
Bye,
you, everyone.
everybody.